Mark thought he was winning. 41 years old, operations manager in Phoenix, bought a house in 2021 at the exact right moment. Locked in a 2.8% mortgage, monthly payment $1,847. For 3 years, everything felt perfect. Life was on track. Then the kids had to start sharing a bedroom. The commute started cutting into his mornings. The neighborhood didn't feel the same anymore. Mark realized he needed a change, so he opened Zillow, called a realtor, spent 2 weeks scrolling, touring, imagining a new life. 3 houses caught his eye, all perfect, all ready. Then he did the math. Same price range, same city, same type of home. New mortgage rate today, 6.8%. Monthly payment, $3,089. Mark froze. $1,847 today, $3,089 if he moves. $1,242 more every month, $14,904 more every year, $74,520 more over 5 years, for a house that wasn't even better than what he already owned. Mark closed his laptop. He's not moving. Not because he doesn't want to, but because the math won't let him. And right now, there are 4.4 million Americans in the exact same trap. Trapped, not by their home, by their mortgage rate. If you bought a house between 2019 and 2022, and you have been wondering whether you are stuck, stay with me for the next 8 minutes, because I am going to show you exactly what the mortgage lock-in effect is, the specific math that creates it, and the 3 realistic options available to you right now. If this is the kind of content that makes you think differently about your financial situation, subscribe to Last Receipt right now. Because this is the conversation millions of American homeowners are having quietly at their kitchen tables, and nobody is giving them a straight answer. Welcome to Last Receipt, where we talk about money the way your financial advisor never will. No jargon, no judgment, just the uncomfortable truth about wealth in the economy we actually live in right now. New video every week. Subscribe so you never miss one. Now let us talk about why 4.4 million Americans who own homes feel more financially stuck than renters who own nothing. Between 2020 and 2022, the Federal Reserve cut interest rates to the lowest levels in American history. Mortgage rates fell to 2.5%, 2.8%, 3.1%. Rates that had genuinely never existed before in the modern American mortgage market. Millions of Americans locked in these rates, and they were right to do so. It was objectively the correct financial decision at that specific moment in time. Then inflation hit. The Federal Reserve raised rates faster than at any point in 40 years. Mortgage rates went from 3% to 5% to 6% to 7% in less than 18 months. And the most valuable thing millions of Americans suddenly owned was not their house. It was their mortgage rate. A 2.8% mortgage rate in a 6.8% world is worth tens of thousands of dollars. You cannot sell it, you cannot transfer it, you cannot take it with you. The moment you sell your house, that rate is gone forever. And that single fact is trapping 4.4 million Americans in homes they would otherwise leave. Here is the specific math that creates the trap. Mark's current situation. Loan balance, $380,000. Interest rate, 2.8%. Monthly payment, $1,847. A comparable house today. Purchase price, $395,000. Interest rate, 6.8%. Monthly payment, $3,089. Monthly difference, $1,242. Annual difference, $14,904. 10-year difference, $149,040. Mark would pay $149,040 more over 10 years to live in a house that is not meaningfully better than what he has. That is the lock-in effect in pure mathematical terms. His low-rate mortgage is so valuable that leaving it is financially irrational, even when staying no longer makes sense for his life. Here is the part of this story that does not show up in any mortgage calculator. Meet Lisa, 36 years old, marketing director in Denver, Colorado. Locked into a 3.1% mortgage since 2021. Monthly payment, $1,620. Last September, Lisa received the best job offer of her career. Senior director role, a company she had been watching for 3 years. $31,000 annual salary increase. Genuine career advancement. The role was hybrid with quarterly travel to the company headquarters in Austin, Texas. Lisa wanted this job. So she ran the numbers. Selling her Denver house, buying a comparable house in Austin at today's 6.8% rate, new monthly payment, $2,760. Increase from current payment, $1,140 per month. Her salary increase, $31,000 annually. After taxes, approximately $1,720 per month. Her mortgage increase would consume $1,140 of that $1,720. She would take a more demanding job with more responsibility and end up with $580 more per month after the mortgage absorbed everything else. She said no, not because she did not want the opportunity, because her 3.1% mortgage rate made the opportunity mathematically not worth taking. Her interest rate was making her career decisions for her. And that is not financial security. That is a financial cage that happens to have a very low monthly payment. Here is what I want you to understand. Before we talk about what you can actually do, the mortgage lock-in effect is not just a housing problem. It is a life design problem. When your mortgage rate is making career decisions for you, location decisions for you, family decisions for you, you do not own your home. Your home owns you. And that is true whether your payment is $1,847 or $4,847. If you are in Mark or Lisa's situation, here are your 3 realistic options. Option 1. Stay and build wealth with the savings. If your low-rate mortgage is genuinely the right financial decision, staying is not failure, it is strategy. But staying productively means using the monthly savings your rate creates to build wealth aggressively elsewhere. Mark saves $1,242 per month compared to what his new payment would be. If Mark invests that $1,242 monthly into a simple S&P 500 index fund at 10% average returns, he builds $255,000 in 10 years. His low-rate mortgage becomes not a prison, but a wealth-building vehicle. The critical distinction is this. Staying because you are afraid is a trap. Staying because you are deliberately building wealth with the monthly savings your rate creates is a completely different and genuinely powerful decision. Option 2. Rent your current home and move. Instead of selling your low-rate mortgage, keep it. Rent your current home at market rates. Use the rental income to offset the higher payment on your new property. Mark's house could rent for approximately $2,400 per month in his Phoenix market. His current mortgage payment is $1,847. Rental income covers the payment completely and generates $553 per month in positive cash flow. Mark keeps his 2.8% mortgage as a permanent income-producing asset. He moves to a house that fits his life, and his old mortgage generates money every month instead of costing him money. This strategy requires capital for a new down payment and genuine comfort with being a landlord, but it converts a financial trap into a permanent wealth-building asset. Option 3. Move and make the decision consciously. Sometimes life changes matter more than financial optimization. If the house genuinely no longer fits your life, if the career opportunity is truly transformational, if the family or relationship situation requires a change, moving at a higher rate may be the correct decision despite the mathematical cost. The $1,222 monthly increase Mark faces is significant but manageable on his income over time. What is not manageable is spending 10 more years in a house that is slowly eroding his quality of life, his relationships, and his career satisfaction. Financial optimization is a tool, not a religion. Sometimes the right life decision costs more money, and that is acceptable as long as you are making that choice deliberately rather than letting your mortgage rate make it for you. One question tonight. If your mortgage rate disappeared tomorrow and all rates were equal across every lender, would you stay in your current home or would you move? Honest answer, just for yourself. If your honest answer is move, your mortgage rate is making life decisions for you right now. That does not mean you should move immediately. It means you should run the 3 options I just showed you and make a conscious, deliberate choice rather than a default one. Post in the comments, just 2 words, stay or move. Because the most expensive financial decisions are always the ones we make by default rather than by design. If this video changed how you think about your mortgage and your options, subscribe to Last Receipt. Because next week, we are going even deeper. We are revealing why paying off your mortgage early might be the single most expensive financial mistake you can make in 2026. Most Americans believe being debt-free is always smart. The math tells a completely different story. And by the time that video ends, you will never think about mortgage payoff the same way again. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share this video with someone who bought a house between 2019 and 2022 and has been quietly wondering whether they are stuck. Because they are not stuck. They have 3 options. They just needed someone to show them what those options actually are. See you next week.